One of the questions I asked you to respond to in your thought primer attempts to dig into one of your most fundamental assumptions about you, your life, and the world that you inhabit. And the question had to do with the nature of the universe and all of the stuff that comprises the universe. All of the planets and the mountains and the rivers and the trees and the banana slugs and you and me. And the question is this: is all of that stuff simply the product of random chance and sheer coincidence, that all of the stuff that exists happened to come together through sheer chance in the way that it did to create you in the way that you are, to create me in the way that I am? Or did all of the things that comprise the universe, you, me, the mountains, the trees, did they come together in the way that they are because that's the way they were intended to come together, that there's a purpose for things being the way that they are? Now, to really dig into this question, we have to be clear what we're asking about. And to be clear about that, we've got to think about what the word meaning means. We've got to think about the meaning of meaning. One way to think about meaning is as it relates to sentences like these, or questions like these. What does the word dog mean? What does the word utilitarianism mean? And when we ask questions like this, we're asking, what does this term, dog, refer to? Okay? What does this term utilitarianism refer to? And we might jump to a dictionary, because in the dictionary we can look up the word dog, we can look up the word utilitarianism, and it's going to point at the things that these words refer to. We would call these words or these sounds signifiers. They point at things, and the things that they point at are the things that are signified, right? So when I point at my finger, I say, look at that dog over there. Dog is the signifier, and that dog over there is the thing that's being signified. But of course, there's another way to think about the concept of meaning, and it has to do with a question like this: does your life have meaning? When I ask that question, I'm not looking for answers in a dictionary, because what I'm really asking you is, what's your purpose for being? What's your reason for living? Why are you here? Or I might expand it out to be a question not just about you as an individual, but about all of life itself. Does life have a purpose? Does life actually matter? I could even extend this question out to the universe as a whole. Does the universe have meaning? And when I ask questions like these, what I'm really asking is this: is there a reason why things are the way that they are? Is there anything of real value? Or is everything just the product of random coincidence and chance? Now, the theory that we're going to look at this week is called natural law theory, and it's going to answer these big questions about life and its meaningfulness with a very emphatic yes. They're going to say, yes, not only does your individual life have purpose and meaning, all of life has purpose and meaning. In fact, all that exists, everything in the universe and the universe itself, has meaning. There's a reason why things are the way that they are. And a natural law theorist is not just going to assert these things as true, they're also going to put a challenge to us. And they're going to say to us, if you answered that question about the nature of the universe and whether or not it was coincidental or purposeful, and you said it was coincidental, then if the universe itself is meaningless and without purpose, how can anything, including you and your life, have any meaningfulness or purposefulness in this meaningless universe? In other words, how could you create something out of nothing? And we might respond to that question by saying something like, well, I have all of these things going on in my life, and I kind of bring them together in a particular pattern that's pleasing to me, and my life becomes this kind of mosaic that I create. And it's not that there's any external meaning being imposed on my life. I'm sort of creating the meaning of my life by simply living it and making choices. But the natural law theorist is going to push back on us if that's our response. And they're going to say something like, well, what you're really saying is that what you call meaningful in your life is just a comforting kind of fiction that you create so that you don't confront ultimately the purposelessness of not only your life, but everything that exists. Now, we might push back on the natural law theorist and say, okay, wise guy, well, if you're saying that not only does my life, but all of life and the universe itself has meaning, how do we discover what that meaning is? How do we discover what the purpose of things are? And that's what we're going to explore in this thought primer.